Hi everyone, so in this video I want to show you a very simple HDRI lighting setup that I'm using in my project. So this render that we're looking at here is a part of a full interior and exterior visualization project that I created just recently. And I have, in this project I used created different renders from different daytime. For example, I have this fully bright direct sun lighting, and I have some images that I created with this late afternoon, golden hour sunset atmosphere. But in this video, we will be focusing on this late evening, almost night. It's around 9 p.m. Much more interesting than just a bright daylight or direct sun. So the reason I chose this image is because I really love this time of the day. I like how the interior lights are seen from the inside of the house. I love the reflections, the pool water creates, the glass. It just has so much more to it than just a bright daylight. It has much more to offer to the entire atmosphere. And I personally prefer this kind of renders than just a sunny day. And let's see how it actually looks in the blend file. So if we go to the blend file, this is my world tab in the shader editor, and this is basically the entire lighting setup that I'm using. This is an HDRI from PG Skies. It's called 2140. You can go and download it. So first let's switch to the rendered mode. So I have my grass hidden to make it easier on the scene while working on it. And for this scene I'm using an HDRI sky controlled with an RGB to BW and the multiply node. Now the RGB to BW makes the lighting strength based only on brightness and not the color, and the multiply controls the HDRI exposure so it doesn't overpower the artificial lights. Now if I used only the background strength without these two nodes, then I would have less control. It would simply make everything brighter or darker. And I also have artificial lights in this scene to add more depth and more light to the scene, to the darker areas. For example, I placed a very big area light here right above the pool and facing the group of plants here. Let's see if I hide it, then we can immediately see how these plants become darker, significantly darker than before. So what I did is I placed this area light and I went to the object properties of this area light and I created a group of plants that I wanted to be lit. For example, let's see what I have in this group. So everything here is affected. Only this is affected by this large area light. So how we do this, we select the area light, we go to the object properties and we go to the shading, light linking, and we choose here the group that we created with all the plants that we want them to be affected by this area light. So nothing else will be affected by this large area light. You can add as many area lights as you want, and you can choose whatever you want that specific area light to affect. Now, very similar thing I did with the lights in the pool. I have these lights here, and what I did is there are two options. One, we can go to the light options here and we disable the diffuse, because if I enable the diffuse to all of the lights here, the scene is going to be much brighter. They're just gonna affect everything, and I don't want that. So I only want these lights to affect the pool and the water, and that is enough for me for that scene. So I went to each light and I unchecked the diffuse. We can also do it from the object properties. If we go to visibility, we can see the diffuse is unchecked here. So just another thing about this area light, the strength of this area light will be around 5 in this case for my scene, because 5 is just good enough to lit this group of plants. So it still doesn't look too artificial, because if we set it to 20, let's say, then it's going to, it looks weird. It's too much. So I think that 5 is just fine in this case. And another thing I want to mention is that I'm using the photographer add-on through which I control the exposure manually. And another very useful feature is the ability to set a different resolution for each camera if you have many cameras, especially if you are rendering in a queue, which makes the workflow much easier. You don't have to change the resolution for each camera, because I like to create wide images and also portrait images, and this is very useful. So this is basically the entire lighting setup. So we have this setup in the world tab, and we have this large area light that adds just a little bit more lighting to this group of plants, and the rest of the lights are coming from within the house, and these nice grass bulbs which are emissive, and the lights from the inside of the pool, and that's it.